Okay, folks, as a reminder, could you either press *6 or mute to mute your phone unless you have a question? And here we go. So I'm going to talk about projects, activities, and aliases in 4-H Online. As you know, the state level projects and activities were brought over from Access 4-H. None of the members, none of the county level projects or county level activities have been brought over. So we're starting with a clean slate with these items. Just a reminder, hello? So if you're not talking, could you mute your phone or press *6, please? Okay, as I share every week, I have some helpful links. The online login page, which I assume you're all familiar with at this point. The Tuesdays at 2 webinars. Today I uploaded the link for this webinar, so if you're here, you probably have a pretty good idea of where that page exists. A lot of what I've learned I've taken from Minnesota, North Dakota, and Iowa. They've taken the time to put together some pretty good printed user manuals that I like. A couple of reminders. If you're not getting notices, every Friday we send out a newsletter. If you're not getting these newsletters and think you may be missing, hang on, folks. I've got somebody typing in the background. Marilyn, I think it's you that I'm hearing your keyboard. Could you either press *6 or mute your phone? Marilyn, could you mute your phone, please? I'm getting a lot of background. All right. As I said, a couple of reminders. The 4-H staff listserv. Let me know if you're not getting messages every Friday. We'll get you added to the listserv. We currently have several different ones. The ES 237 deadline is looming right around the corner. I'm getting a lot of last-minute entries. I've got a lot of counties letting me know if your information's in, and I really appreciate hearing from you. What I do is I take a minute to run your ES 237 report, and I look for any imbalances. And if you have an imbalance and you can't find the records that you need to get a gender, an ethnicity, a grade, a residence type in, then I'll let you know who those folks are that need that information. It's a pretty simple report for you to run. The accident insurance numbers are also due. I'm going to be sending that spreadsheet over to PW Wood on Monday. About 35 counties have done this. If your county has not done it, please get your accident insurance numbers in ASAP. Okay, the biggest question I got this week was project linking to clubs. So the problem comes up that you have a member and you select his club, but you can't add a project to him. So let's just recap what we did last week. We'll just take a look. I'd just like to take a moment to show everybody how many people we have in 4-H Online as county level users right now. We have 13 counties using the system actively, with the rest still in the training system. I'm moving about one county over a day, so this is really encouraging for me. So for the linking projects to clubs, as I covered last week, the clubs by default will not have all the projects assigned to them. This gives you the opportunity to assign certain projects to certain clubs, If you prefer just to have any kid in a club have the whole template of projects, the whole selection, then you're going to have to link the projects to the club. So I'm going to go ahead and get into a county account to show you how that's done. We'll jump into the training county. And you would think that it might be in project aliases, but actually it's in options. And here at the top left of options, you have link projects to clubs. You're just going to select that. Then you're going to select the club that you want to link the projects to. I happen to know that I think the Cool Critters doesn't have any projects linked to it yet. So here you have the whole list of state-level projects. A little later on, you'll have county-level projects to select from as well. If you want any kid in this club to be able to participate in any one of these projects, simply click Select All, Update, and now when you add that club to a member's record, you'll then be able to add projects to his record as well because they're now associated with the club. I'm going to jump back over to my PowerPoint. Okay. So today I want to talk a little bit about the projects. As I said, right now we have the state level project list in 4-H Online, and that's pretty easy for me to report on. For instance, if the Animal Science Department wants a report on horses, I can pretty easily generate that at the state level. But when it gets down to the county level, it's a little harder to look at the projects. So if Data and Animal Science is looking for a county that's doing a certain horse project, sometimes I run into trouble getting her that data by county, and I'll show you why. What I have here is a list of all the county level activities matched up with the LGU, the Land Grant University project name, as well as the national project name. For the LGU project, there's about 132. Right here they're duplicated to show the differences in the county level project. But for county level project names, I have 1,100 and, well, I have 1,600 different project names. In some cases, a county titled the project Writing, Print. Another county chose Writing/Print. My favorite example is, here's another one, Wildlife Discovery. My favorite example is incubation and embryology. I think I've counted 7 different ways to code this project and 2 different areas that it's going into. So what I'd like to ask you at the county level to do is before you put in county level projects, please send me a list of the projects that you plan to use. And that way I can get some consistency across the system. So I would say if you're doing an incubation embryology project, we're just going to spell it this way within every county. That way we can have more standardized reporting across the system. As you can see, this many projects, it's pretty tough for me to answer to folks when they're asking about specific curriculum. Any questions about that?
Adam. This is Bonnie Peck.
Good, Bonnie.
If the projects are already in the list, do we need to still send you a list of the projects we're going to use? Because that could be pretty time-consuming to figure out every single project. We don't always know ahead of time what kids are planning to do.
Right. The state-level project list is there for your use. If you have a county-level project that fits into that, by all means, go ahead and select the project that's already there. And it makes it easier for all of us. But if you do have a specific, interesting little project that you think maybe only your county is doing, or you want to track that specific curriculum, birds in your backyard, or something that you're using, then you can go ahead and enter that as a county-level project. And just let me know how you're titling those so that I can have some consistent titling for the projects across the system. Okay, so similar to the project list, I also have the activity list. I think I'll take a look at that once we get into the system, and I'm going to jump right into how you would enter a project at the county level. So I'm going to start sharing this. I'm going to go back to 4-H Online. Okay, so I am in a county account. This is 4-H Online County. So to map a project is pretty simple. You just got to click Project Alias, Add Project Alias, title your project. So the one I used before was Birds in Your Backyard. And we can put that one in. We'll just say wildlife and fisheries for the sake of ease. Okay, so that's it, right? We're all done. We've just added the project alias for Birds in Your Backyard. But wait a minute, what if we go back to the member's record and we try to add Birds in Your Backyard to his record? As you can see, I'll click on a record, and you can probably guess what's coming. I want to add that project. I'm going to select the year, select the club, and select Birds in Your Backyard. Okay. There's no birds in your backyard here. So we're going to have to go back to the step that I first did, which is go to our options. We're going to want to link that project to the club using the Beef Brigade Club. So we're going to click on Beef Brigade. As you can see, all the projects have been linked to this club already, except for the one I just created, which I'm not seeing. It's here, so we'll select all the projects, update, and now if I go back to his record, I should be able to add Birds in Your Backyard. I'm not seeing it here. When I practiced it earlier, it did work. I bet you I added it to the wrong club. Let me just backtrack a second here. We've got two Beef Brigades, and I think that's where I ran into trouble. Yeah, there's no projects linked to this one. Go back to the young man's record. Project. Well, for whatever reason, the project is not showing up now as I'm actually doing this in front of an audience. When I practiced this earlier, it worked just fine. and I trust it'll work just fine on your end as well. I'm just going to backtrack for a second and just make sure that I have that project alias set up correctly. Maybe I can fix this right now. Birds in your backyard, wildlife and fishing. Okay, well, for whatever reason, I can't link that project to the youth right now. I apologize, but I'll figure that out and touch on that in a future webinar. So another thing I wanted to look at today was the activities. And we covered this a little bit in earlier webinars because I think of activities a lot of times with group enrollment. So we did create some activities to put with a group enrollment. Right now, the state level activities are already in the system. As you can see, these are things that are pretty similar across the state. There's not only the state events, but there's a county public presentation. There's district presentations. This is a list we put together a while back to kind of track what's happening across the state. The State Fair Junior Superintendent produced in New York. This does get rolled over into the Cooperative Extension Federal Report. So even if it's less than 6 hours, we'd like to see activities that are done statewide. We'd like to see the youth put into these. If you want to use the county level activities, you're just simply going to add an activity. And this is a little trickier because it's asking you to add a code. So add that in here. And what I like to do is go back to one of my curriculum lists, and there's a couple of these posted on our website. And by the way, if anybody wants this list, shoot me an email and I'll send it over to you so that you can be thinking about consistent naming conventions for your project. Got a lot of birds here, but it looks like they're all going to be in Science 7. So I'll go ahead and assign Science 7. Go into that activity, save it, and now that's denoted as a activity that a youth can participate in. Let's go back to our young man and see if we can add the activity to him. Since we weren't able to add the project, we should have a county level activity available, birds in your backyard. There it is, as well as my test activity I did earlier. If it's a project related activity, it's going to ask you to select the project that it's related with. Right now it looks like only one activity has been tied to a project. This one, although there is a birds in your backyard curriculum, I believe we don't have it assigned as part of a project. So if you, in the previous steps, made it project related, that's how you're going to have to add it to the youth record. Or simply add that to Eli's record. You can see that it's now on his activities page and is showing you all the activities that this young man is involved with. Alright, as I said, I'd like to keep these kind of short and just get a couple bites of information here, which is what I've shared today. So now I'd like to open it up for questions, especially around the project naming conventions, because this is kind of new ground for us. With the Access 4-H, we just kind of helter-skelter entering all the projects. But as you can see, with 1,600 different project names, it got a little convoluted. So, as I said, it's my hope that if you're going to add county-level projects, you'll clear those with me. I've already created a report of those, so I can look at those as time goes on, just to try to correct any of these naming conventions. If I do see things that can be spelled similarly, I'll let you know at the county level if I find those. All right. I see the audio is a little fuzzy. I hope that picked up. I'm actually on a regular phone, so I apologize if the audio is a little skippy. Any other questions for this week? All right, well, keep your questions coming from email. I love to get them and try to solve the problems. Right now, my biggest challenge is assigning permissions for 2 counties for 1 educator and customizing the forums. I'm also struggling a little bit with the volunteer payment screening. So those are a couple things on my plate that I'm waiting to hear back from the developers on to get those fixed. So when you do find bugs, please let me know. Especially if you're entering real data, it's better to solve the problems early on rather than have them just keep getting repeated. Okay, any other questions at all? I think Darlene just emailed me one, but I can't open that just yet. All right, well, thanks for attending today. I plan to host a webinar next Tuesday at 2. I'm going to take the questions I get between now and then and try to come up with a good topic for you. And I plan to keep these doing as long as you'll keep attending. So thanks for attending, everyone.